Welcome to the Community Hotline for the community, by the community. I'm your host, Bob Fang, and today we have Lily in the house. Hey, Lily, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, Community Hotline, thank you for having me here. Bob, thank you for inviting me. I'm Lily. I'm currently in San Francisco. I'm born and raised here. I am a daughter of refugees. Uh, my mom's from Vietnam. She's a Vietnamese boat person. My father is a refugee from Cambodia. And I share that because it is definitely weaved into why I make my decisions today. My background in work, I am in e-commerce. I help a lot of brands work with major retailers. Love what I do.
Love that. Love that. Big step up, refugees life. Tell us two truths and one lie.
Ooh. Um, One, I used to be the drum corps commander and I played the snare. Another one, I have a home in Finland, Helsinki. And another one is I used to be a ballerina.
Ballerina.
Yes.
Okay, Nick Cannon out here, drum corps. Was it like the movie Drumline? Was that
Oh
your
my
life?
God. Yes. When I watched Drumline, that was after I was on the drum corps. I was like calling my drum corps friends. I'm like, dude, this is us. Oh my God, what is going on here?
I love that. How many years were you in band?
4 years.
4 years marching band?
Marching band for high school. I went to Lowell High School in the Bay Area, and it is part of the JROTC program, the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. So it was part of the military branch.
Nice, nice. You didn't end up joining the military after?
Almost. No.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. Let's get into first question of the day. We'll go a little bit deeper. Tell us, what are three defining moments in your life, and how do they impact you?
Hmm. I'm gonna go back to childhood real quick. The first one was when I got a taste of true teamwork, and that was on the drum corps team and what it looked like to win. When you work hard, you have a plan, you communicate, uh, and you just have the discipline to practice every day for this competition. So there's an annual competition that would happen. And I think at that time there was a team of 18, very different. Imagine like from freshman to senior, and you have to be in your rank because you're a freshman. You will get treated like a freshman, and you're a newbie, and you respect your elders in this program that I was in, and you work your tushies off, right, to go up there. But I remember working so hard, practicing with the team. There was disagreements too, but we won together. And that was the first taste of like, oh wow, what it could feel like when you work together with anyone. Another defining moment was when, so I'm born and raised San Francisco, as I shared earlier. I'm one of five kids. We grew up in the Tenderloin, which is not a very nice neighborhood in the Bay Area. A lot of the immigrants, Southeast Asian immigrants, actually would find Tenderloin as their home, their starter home city area, neighborhood, their starter neighborhood. And I'd always been in San Francisco, but I had a dream that one day I will get out of San Francisco. I applied to a bunch of University of California, like UC, whatever. And that was great. But I also took a chance, but had a feeling I would not get in. I submitted my college application to NYU as well, New York University. And I got into the UCs, beautiful. But at the last moment, like I was supposed to decide on some date for the UCs. And then NYU called me and was like, hey, Lily Chan, would you like to come to join NYU? I was like, is this a prank? Like,
Uh,
do you call people? Like, do you send letters? Like, I remember getting, the big old letter, the envelope, right?
right.
And at that point, they offered me a program to study politics because that's what I wanted to study. And they asked me to join their abroad program my first semester at NYU, which was going to be Czech Republic. So imagine a girl from the TL, a daughter of refugees. I wanted to get out. I didn't think I would get in. And my first call to go to college was out of the country. So that was a
Crazy,
defining moment. Second one.
crazy, crazy. Okay.
Um, my last one. Hmm. I'm gonna get kind of real here, and I hope this is okay. It's not always comfortable, but last year I lost the most important being in my life, and she was with me for 15 years. And she was my dog, named Smajini Sear, which means fried cheese sandwich in Czech. And
Maji,
she, Smajini Sear, Smazenysy, and I named her after a Czechoslovakian word for fried cheese sandwich because of that trip, that broad program I went on in Prague. Obviously, it changed my life. And when she transitioned, I never had a dog growing up. I had her 8 weeks. I was 22, deciding to take on a 50-pound dog, not knowing that it's a lot of work, a lot of work, and a lot of money, and a lot of everything. And she is a English Shepherd, Australian cattle dog. So at least 5 miles a day of walking, jogging, whatever. So, anyways, she is my she made me soft. She made me feel love in a different way. And I'm so grateful for what she taught me and gave to me and shared with me. But when she transitioned last year, yeah, it was a life changing moment, and I realized I just had to sit there and feel it all. It was hard. It was hard, but I processed. I'm still processing. Yeah.
love it. I love it. Big three. Let me just recap to make sure that I was paying attention. So we got number one, first defining moment was teamwork when you were in the drum corps, understanding the struggles of the ranks, knowing that you're a freshman. Number two was growing up in the Tenderloin, one of five kids, San Francisco. Uh, and then, moving to the Czech Republic, going to NYU. Big jump, big jump. And then the last one is the loss of your dog, fried cheese. What is it? Misogyny sear, right?
Smajini Sear. Yeah. It was the hardest name anyone can ever give, but it opened conversations up and it was fun.
I love that. I'm sure at parties they'd be like, "What? Misogyny? What?" Ask 5 times. I love it. We'll dig a little bit deeper into all those topics, but let's start with the first one, which is education. Tell us, who were you in high school?
Hmm. I was that kid that hung out with a few different groups. I being I never shared this publicly. I don't know if you know familiar with the zodiac big three, like your big three zodiac signs.
Like your sun, moon, and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm a Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and that's earth, water, fire. And I realized I always wanted to go learn. So I would be the girl that hung out at the flagpole with uh, my friends who like to get into wild things. Let's just say it like
flagpole fool.
And we would always be close to our cars so we can drive or pump up the music or whatever, just be wild. Like that was that crew. Um, but I also hung out with my drum corps team. I love them. It was just team and community in a different way. We were passionate about playing the drums or being on the band, playing our instruments. So I did that. And what else as far as high school? I wasn't the like based on grades, I wasn't the whatever 4.0, 4.2, whatever student. I did go to a school that was really hard to get into, but once I got in, I then just found extracurricular activities to be more fun. Um, but I always noticed. So I also flunked. Oh, by the way, I flunked geometry. I remember flunking, and I was like, "Oh my god, does that make me feel like am I stupid for flunking? You know? Um, and I realized I was not okay, I shouldn't say that. Maybe I was a little bit because I did not apply myself to the subject. It could have been the teacher, it could have been it was 8 a.m. and the freaking like 7:30 in the morning. I remember it was 7:30 and it was like really cold. I was not prepared to do geometry at 7:30 in the morning. Oh my god, yeah. And I did not do well. And when I took the class again, I had a great teacher, I remember, Miss N. It was 12 p.m. I remember. Yes, the sun was out. And I applied myself. I really learned and I fell in love with geometry. Sometimes I reference in work geometry and how, Pythagorean theorems and da da da, all of those. Like I was like, this makes sense. Transitive property. Like it makes like all why do I remember all this stuff? Like but I was not a great student, but when it all matched up, like whether it be the timing or the teacher or whatever, I then got into it. But I didn't know that growing up. 7:30 in the morning, just not my cup of tea. Yeah.
That makes absolute sense. Do you think education is important? For the kids out there who might be like, I don't want to go to school anymore. I don't want to go to college. Is it necessary? What's your take on that?
No. No. Um,
Don't
I
let
think
the mom
everyone.
hear this.
I think everyone is so different. I think it's. I think education in general is something we do every day, or can do every day. But the way we decide to go about that, I like geometry. How I flunked geometry, and then I went back. I got an A the second time. By the way, I got a D, and then retook it and got an A the second time. Um, I think education is important, and I think the most important is how you decide like to apply it, like your style, like just be thoughtful about it. Yeah.
What would you say the top two changes have been from you since high school?
In education or
Just
um,
personality wise.
hmm, number one is finally asking for help from the community, help from coaches. It's, it's not that I never asked for help, but in a different way. Meaning, I have a counselor, I have a therapist. They used to have this weird stigma, right? But I am so happy that I have people to help me understand a little bit more about myself. Um, and my therapist has shared this too with me, which is I'm the one going out to do the work. I'm the one who's going to make these decisions and face whatever I have to face. They're there to support me in the way that I need to be supported, which might be different from you, my mom, my sister, whoever. So that was the first like investment, I guess. Yeah, investment in self care was asking for help because it's not always easy to ask for help. Um, well, once I did, and I felt like the the return, I guess yeah, I felt safer. I felt like I can do this. And it was like practice. You know, in the beginning, I wasn't like ah, you know, it's a process. It's a learning curve.
What made you want to go for help? What was the big
Um,
change?
I remember, I remember my first time ever thinking that I should talk to someone was actually at NYU. I was a kid, like a college student. I was 3,000 miles away from home. Everyone, a lot of my family and friends stayed in Cali, and I was alone in New York. I made friends eventually, but it was really hard. Um, and I had NYU Health that I paid for, and I was like, I need to use this. What services are out there? And I saw counseling, like I think once a week, and I was like, let's do this. To sign up, and that was my first, you know, taste of it.
Love that. I love that. That's why you should go to school, kids. Go to college for counseling. Get that, college insurance program. Uh, I love that. Was there any bullying going on in your high school? Were you the bully?
Uh, Absolutely no, I don't think so. Was there bullying? I felt like because I went to a school that you had to test in, so we were all kind of in this like weird, I don't know, understanding of having to work towards something. I'm not saying that others don't, but it was just that we were in this weird club where I think the whole school was bullied, to be honest, by other people, meaning other schools, because we would have the best school dances, and we get to invite people from the outside in. So there was bullying, I remember, at the mall near our high school, because that's where all the kids would hang out after school. And I would feel weird, like making fun of, or um, just like front energy by other folks in this mall, at the mall and on the bus. Oh my God. Like, you got to hold your backpack and you got your wallet and stuff. And as a female, I felt like I just had to always put my backpack in front of me in case someone jacks me or just mess with me. And yeah, so the public, like whether it be the mall or on the bus, is where I felt it.
Got it. Usually, a lot of kids when they're in high school, they have a tough time like communicating with their parents. What was your relationship with your parents like in high school?
Um, in high school, I don't. I tried. I don't know. I tried to talk to them, but they were really busy with work. Uh, I think my, my parents in high school were like the investors, meaning the capital. They paid for the home, the food, and whatever I might need for school. But the extra, like cute clothes, bell bottom jeans when it came back in, that was on me. I would have to do some work, a side hustle, or get a job to do that. So I think growing up in high school, they were my uh, capital. But when it came to emotional support, it was my older siblings. I had two older sisters and a brother.
Love that. Okay, talking about emotional support. Let's move on to the next topic of the day, which is love. Tell us, what is love?
Hmm. Evolve backwards, is it? I don't know. Love has really, like, yeah, straight up evolved for me. I used to think of it on a more like close, even like on a sexual level, like with a relationship. And today I feel like love to me is about self love. and that I can give that and share that with others, even strangers. Like, yeah, yeah, there's love to be shared on a different, capacity or level with people in general, whether it be your family members, your actual lovers, or your friends, or your mom, dad. So yeah, today love means many different forms, and I've decided to lead with love, starting with me first. It's kind of like that airplane, the thing that falls down that they always put, like, give yourself the air first. I used to give to other people first. I didn't know. I I didn't know, and now I got to give it to myself first before I give to others.
Love that. How do you receive love?
Mm, Gary Chapman, that love language stuff. I don't know if you all know, but it's the love language. The easy, I guess, the the test answer is that I receive it through affirmations. Um, And actually, when I heard that, I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really like it. I was like, like I don't want. Really? Okay. But I have to accept it. Like, and I haven't taken it for a while. I probably took it like at least 5, 6 years ago. Probably should take it again. But anyways, then I heard it. I didn't really like it, but it's okay. I know, and I share with my partner. This is how I like to receive love, but I had to also make it my own. I actually have these like finger tattoos. I'm not Tattoos aren't for everyone, kids, but I got it to affirm the things that I've done in my life. Um, and these are I give myself the affirmations instead of waiting to receive them from others.
Ooh, self love. I like that. How do you show love to others?
I think growing up, I was mama bear. I was the early on. I had a taste of like being a drum corps commander, having to protect. I was in a way protected by my sisters, my oldest sister. So I tend to show up with for people as a mama bear. I am aware that not all the time I should be doing that, and I should be here as an observer or a listener or a questioner, to help them out. So that's a work in progress for me. Um, yes.
Okay. Tell us, who was your first love?
Oh my god. That's such a good question. Oh my god, first love, first love, first love. Um, I feel like my first love, I don't even know. I mean, I had a crush. It's not, I mean, yeah, mini love. 5 years old on the playground, there was a gentleman named Javier, and he had this like little, oh, so cute, like a little um mohawk. Oh my god, he's so cute. I remember these moles. Oh my god, Javi. I wonder how he's. Oh my god, I wonder how he's doing. Um, and then eventually love for playing the snare, and then I don't know why, but I mean, I shouldn't say this. Then eventually love for NSYNC.
Love for
Um,
NSYNC?
yeah, I really like them. My friends and I would like make up bye 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 and like dance. Oh my god, yeah, yeah.
That's so great. That's so great. What about now moving forward? What's your relationship with your parents like now? Are you able to communicate with them or are they less busy?
Yeah, they retired since then. They have some side hustles because they'll always work. I have a feeling forever. It's that hustle, that drive. Um, I have such a beautiful relationship with my parents. I'm actually taking them to a play in like a couple hours called Dear San Francisco. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's an amazing homage to San Francisco through circus and dance. Um, I've been wanting to take them for for about a year now, and tonight's the night.
Okay, awesome. Has it was there any big, I guess, transitions or big moments that brought you and your mom and dad together that you can share with us? Most memorable moments with your parents.
Yes. I think because I'm a empath growing up, I always and we didn't have money to afford a babysitter, so I would go to they had a grocery store for 30 years serving the community. Um, they serve WIC vouchers, which is women, infant, children for low income families. And being that we lived in the Tenderloin, which is a low income starter area for a lot of the immigrants, they took they redeemed these for the community, and I saw their struggle. I saw many times their glass would get broken and the register would get robbed. My mom has been robbed at knife point, and I just saw a lot. So I think in the back of my mind, I always tried to understand and give love in that sense. So as I grew older and can articulate things, I um, I led with just compassion. But the and with all of that, what changed was um, this trip. I mean, I think it was already in motion, but there was this one trip that I decided to take them back to the motherland. We went to Cambodia, we went to Vietnam, we went to Singapore. Like we went to a bunch of different Southeast Asia. Like they wanted to go to Singapore forever, never been. And I took them on the trip, just the three of us. It was 1 month long, and it could be kind of crazy, you know? Just three of us in a hotel room because I didn't get another room. We were just sharing beds and stuff. Um, but I had the most fun. We laughed, we ate, we like danced, sightsee, and we got into arguments. But that was about 5, 6 years ago, and that changed the energy and our dynamic.
Love that. Family trip. Tell us a lot of kids that go through loss in life, whether that's loss of a parent, loss of a pet. How do you get over loss of smogeny? Of your any tips, techniques. Tell us about that experience, personal story.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, I wanted to run away from the grief as much as I could. So we passed, or we transitioned on like a Monday, and Tuesday I had to hop on a plane to go to work in another state. I went from San Francisco or Los Angeles to Atlanta, and I had to meet a big business partner. I did not want to do it, but I this meeting had been planned, and Smajini had to transition at that time. So I remember getting on this like 5 hour flight, and every cloud looked like my dog jumping in out and out. Like I was like, oh my god, that's Smaj, that's Smaj, that's Smaj, and I was crying. Thank God I had the window seat, but I was just like, ah. Um, and I chose not to lie about it or hide it. The people I met, the meetings I was a trade show. I just told everyone, I said, hey, I'm here for this meeting. Here's the agenda. But I just want to let you know, yesterday I had to let go of my dog, and I'm just feeling it. Everyone understood. Everyone was supportive. I, of course, still did my meetings. So I would say that overall, just like sit, don't run away from it, the grief. Know that everyone's going to grieve differently. And it's okay to share it. It's okay to share it with your community that you're going through something. Um, so after the trip, I get COVID for the first time ever. I was like, what? Like, of course, because my immunity was at its lowest because I was crying so much. I come back Sunday night. I get a text from the people I was meeting, and hey, I got COVID, and I was like, oh, sore throat is about to come. Next day, I took the COVID test. Ding, COVID. So I had 10 days crying in bed, uh, quarantined. I did go out to go for like some sun, but by myself, and I just felt all of the not fun grief from being sick and weak to losing my dearest.
Got it. Move through it. Don't run away from your grief. I love that. Let's move on to the last topic of the day, which is money. Tell us, what is money?
Mm. Money is a way, I think money is a form or an opportunity to do whatever you want, whether it be freedom, going to the movies, or spending it on rent, laptop, whatever. It's a form of an opportunity, I feel like, a currency, an exchange for something. Um, yeah, money is interesting.
In exchange for something. I like that. Tell us. It must have been expensive to go to NYU, out of state, going abroad. How did you afford it? What was going on with that? Scholarship, 10 jobs.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, a little bit of scholarship. Because I think being from out of state, I applied to as many as I could. I didn't apply to as probably more that I didn't even know about out there. Like I wish I had, I don't know, service or someone that just kind of been through it and could be like, hey, go here, go here. So I applied to what I had access to. So I got what I could. I then took out student loans, which scary enough. I remember as soon as I graduated, like the next month, the bills came. Yeah, it was pretty quick. I was like, don't I get more time? No, you make money now. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And then yeah, I had a couple of jobs. I interned on Wall Street for equal opportunity law firm. I worked in the meatpacking district as a server at a Belgian beer bar restaurant. Yeah. Uh, I I lived at a Buddhist temple to save rent. Yeah. I
You lived in a Buddhist temple, save rent. Personal story.
Yeah, senior year, I got really, really sick. I ate some bad meat and had to go to the NYU hospital, go free health or go healthcare that's attached to your tuition. I was in the hospital for probably at least 7 days, and I lost about 15 pounds in that time period. I was just, yeah, not feeling good. I had an IV and my mom, she was so scared. She's in the Bay, San Francisco. Somehow she knew she just had to come to New York. So, 60 something year old lady gets on a plane, not knowing English too well, to Manhattan, rides. I don't know how she get it. Thought I don't know how she did it, but she rode that A train into the city. Um, and then I remember being in the and I woke up. I was like, what's going on? And I see my mom, and I was like, what are you doing here? Like, it probably was less energy. What are you doing here? And she was like, I've come to help you. And I was like, okay, like, I need the help. And she started, like, scolding all the nurses and the doctor. She's like, why is my daughter throwing up? You need to give her not the anti whatever throwing up medicine, get her on it now. Like she was like, I don't know, her English got really good that day, I remember.
Ah,
She just knew what was up. So when I was sleeping while she was like, she didn't want to stay in the hospital for that long. So she went to Chinatown in Manhattan, community, right? She can speak Chinese there. And she was buying oranges, and then she saw a man and was like, I want to go pray. at a temple. Can you direct me to the closest one? He told her somewhere, but she went the opposite. I don't know. She hella funny. She went the opposite route and she found the American Buddhist Society on Center and Grand. She went in there. She prayed probably like 3 consecutive days, and she went in the morning, like 6 a.m. And usually only the monks pray at 6 in the morning. The community or citizens or non-monks wouldn't go that early. So one of the monks noticed this after praying and was like, "Who are you? What are you doing here? All of this." And she told them, "My daughter is really sick in the hospital, and I'm here from California to help out." And I remember her coming back to the hospital and saying, Sifu, Master Monk asked us to eat juk um, in the temple. We have to go. I'm like, I'm so cold. It's like January. And then she's like, we have to go. We have to go. So I remember I'm getting a little bit better at this point because she forced them to give me this like medicine. So I remember putting a coat on. I go there and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I eat the juk and it was so quiet with they had a lazy Susan in their like downstairs breakfast table thing, and they just so quiet. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? And they just said, do you have any family? I was like, my mom, you know. Do you like school here? Yeah. Do you want to stay here? Yeah. We would like to take care of you. If you would like to live here, we will take care of you and bring you back to health. And we will not charge you rent.
Ooh,
And I was like, like, what? And I was like, what do you need me to do? You know, like I'm being straight up right now. I love you, and I'm so grateful for this temple. Um, but it was the best experience I have ever had. And whenever I go back to Manhattan, I, I go back and say hi, and I donate where I can.
I love that. I love that story.
Oh my God! And mom's calling. I can't even make this up. Oh my God, she's
It's
calling.
fate. It's fate. I love that. What last question? Tell us about your experience in the Czech Republic. Going studying abroad. Should they do it? Should students do it? Things to look out for. Top three tips.
Yeah, I would say if it's calling to you and you feel like wherever you're at, you need to get out and experience something different, do it. Not everyone needs to. Um, I know folks that didn't, and they seem to live like a good, fine life. But I think I had the craving. I wanted to get out and try it. And if you do decide to do it, yeah, oh my God, tips. Let the magic just like trust. I mean, have your radar up too, because there are going to be some people that are going to try to like mess with you, but also just allow yourself to feel the culture, the language, the food, everything, and the people. Actually, I did get jacked one day at the castle in Prague. I remember they stole $100 from me, and as a student, like $100 is a lot. And they did it in such a sly way. They were asking me for directions, but after I was like, "Hey, where did my $100 go?" So stuff is gonna happen. So make sure you're like aware.
How do they take your
Um,
100?
so they asked me to for direction. They asked me for directions, and me thinking that I worked there and I lived there. Oh, I worked it. I worked there too. It's another story. But I was trying to tell them directions, and so I don't know. Maybe because I was digging in my wallet for something. Oh, let me bring my map out. That's what it was. Stupid. I brought my map out, and I think they saw I had $100 like tucked in. And they did something. Those people know how to do it. I didn't. What are they? You know, you see the TV. They know how to like whatever your stuff.
Got it. Got it. Got it. You were targeted.
Absolutely.
Tell us for the kids who are listening right now and they want to make some extra cash in e-commerce. How do they get started? Top three tips
Mm.
starting out in e-commerce. What would you do if you were to start all over again? What would you sell? How do they find a niche?
I love this. I love this. Um, Nowadays there's so much other things. I started off in drop ship, so I found products that I didn't have to hold inventory, and I would call up vendors and ask them to help me drop ship a product directly to the end user if I sent them a purchase order. Um, and that was about 17, 18 years ago, and I built one of the first loft bed stores ever to sell loft beds, and in 3 months we made $1 million. I'm not sure if that could, you know, I'm not sure how that would apply to today. Maybe it can still happen. I haven't tried. I actually been wanting to dig it back up. Um, but what I would say is if you wanted to start an e-com, just find the gaps. Find the gaps. Amazon, people do in the US at least. We do shop on online and via Amazon often. So finding the gaps and where you might have a passion for that product too, like your general interest or curiosity. Um, I found something recently, and I could share it here. If you all want an idea, I will gift this to you because while I want to, maybe I will invest. Okay, so kids out there, I'm gonna give you something that I notice is a gap. Ooh. I box, and I don't know if you ever have boxing gloves, those can get really musty. Okay, so I found it was really hard, but I think there's a gap here for these bags to like to go into your boxing gloves and soak up all the sweat and the nasty smells. There hardly are any, and there's a whole other thing there. But anyways, um, talk to me. I would love to figure this out with you if you're interested. But yeah, so finding the gaps, number one. Number two, once you find that gap, dig in, dig in, dig in. I used to field customer service calls. Like I built the website, I called up all the vendors, I added them to the site, I did marketing with my team. I also then asked my sales team whenever you had a call for a loft bed to send it to me. Not all the time, but like when I had the time, send it to me. I want to ask them all the questions. So I spoke to grandmas and moms at the time and just really learned what else are you thinking about? What else can I upsell you? You know? And the last one I would say, whatever business you do decide to get into, know the math, build your P&L, your budget, figure out your capital. Just know that like the back of your hand. Know where you can save. At some point when you start seeing growth, renegotiate terms, like all of that money. Going back to like one of your first money, money. Just know it, study it, and if not, go on YouTube to learn how to like look at a P&L or a cash flow statement. Just a podcast. There's so much access now.
I love that. I love that. So how I guess how easy is it to get into e-commerce, would you say?
I think it's relatively easy to get into it. You want to sell on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Amazon. It's easy. The hard part is sticking to it and showing up every day and pivoting when you need to. That's the not so fun. That's the hard part, and it can be fun.
Love that. I love that. There you have it, folks. Find a need in the market, and Lily told us right here it's those what is it, the packets that soak up all the smelly, sweaty stuff.
Yeah, it's a good price point too. AOS, good average order size. That's what. So last tip that I have learned and shared with my team: revenue, which is your goal, equals traffic, how many people come to your website, times AOS, average order size, multiply that by conversion. How many people will click and buy? Revenue equals traffic times AOS times conversion. I do not mind sharing this. Here you have it now on how to make money for your e-com brands.
There you go, guys. Look at the data. Look at the metrics. Be friends with data scientists. It's all in the data. Any final words before we wrap this up?
I love that we are at least, I don't know, 8,000 miles away from one another. You're in Malaysia, I'm in San Francisco, and we can have this beautiful conversation of connection. I love how we met, and I cannot wait for folks out there to continue to not only connect with others, but connect with themselves as well.
Love it. And where can they find you if they want to reach out to you?
My personal Instagram is paths intersect, PATHS, intersect, INTERSECT. It's just my life motto, like just always be connecting and enjoying the new path that we create with one another, like the one I created with Bob, and then that's unique to us, like a star. And then for my business, LinkedIn and Makers, ANDMAKERS.
ANDMAKERS and Makers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There we go, guys. Before I forget, if you guys are in the US and you are going through depression, suicidal thoughts, don't have anyone to talk to, need someone to talk to, feel free to text home 741-741. That is a national hotline. Someone will be there to answer your call or text 24 hours a day, 365 days in a week. And then if you're in Malaysia and you're listening to this as well, feel free to text 6018-9888-058. You can WhatsApp Tina. She'll be there for you 24 hours a day, 365 days in a week. And also, all I ask is that if you're feeling generous, that you do consider supporting the community hotline. There we have it, folks. That's our episode of the day, and we will catch you next time. See yas.